Why are you running?
Hello, good morning, good morning. Morning, 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 morning. Let's see, the view counter should be working today. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking for a buy over here. I'm looking for a buy here. I'm waiting for price to break above resistance. I switched over to futures. I'm gonna try it out. One of the brokerages I applied to reached out to me yesterday. Opened me an account. So I'm gonna try it. I'll put the link in the description after a couple of days to see like if they're good or not, but they also allow CFDs trading. So I think it's like kind of rare to get a broker which is gonna allow you to trade like, you know, gold, XAUSD, and then they don't allow micros, but you can still trade GC over here, which is basically the same exact price points as micros. And to be honest, like if you gotta trade micros, then I think you already have such a small account. I like micros chart though. It's a lot cleaner to see somehow. But I am waiting for a breakout. I want to see if price can break through this zone. And see if we can kind of correct this move. Right here. I'm also a little bit under the weather right now, so just bear with me. Alright, so I think I might need to put this up here. I really can't see it. Let's put up the opacity a little bit more. Maybe pop it up to like 50. It's not letting me save it. Save as, there we go. Nice. We're currently under POC right now in this general zone over here. But I see we got like less friction. A little less friction towards the upside. We got a volume gap over here once we start breaking. Once we start to get into a position. So if price gives me my entry, we should see at least a pop of about 11 pips before anything really. Might try and get a sooner entry though. If price can maybe set something up a little earlier for me, somewhere around here. Alright, there we go. I think we just got the new hourly. New hourly open here. It's considering a sooner entry. If we can break above this high to 49.51 area over there. Oh, okay. I see what's cooking. I see what's cooking. Just like the rock. Would like price to come down a little bit more though. Like kind of retest these lows here a bit. It's not giving me that retest. Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's a fake out play. Oh, it's an... Wait, I think it's an accumulation head and shoulders reversal. But I would wait for this candle here to close though first. and then look to take the buy. So yeah, I think I'll be getting stuck in right here once we start to break above. See, volume is coming in. All right. I did get stuck in, though I had a lot of slippage on that. Anticipating if price can keep moving up. Hopefully, I might get stopped out. I got a lot of slippage on that. Slippage got me out. Wait, let me actually delete that. No. I was liking the initial volume increase there. I'm kind of bullish on gold. It's up 1% right now. Yes, we do still have a lot of selling pressure here. As you can see, negative 110. I'm gonna try a re-break of the high. Would be nice if volume and delta and everything was lining up though. Might just wait for a re-break of the high. Sharkies, London fakies. Yeah, this was a quick sweep right there. As you can see, it moved up quickly and then sweep back down. There could be some London Sharkies. But this is a much more obvious range above this level. Wouldn't mind giving it a shot, especially if at least Delta at least could be flipping as we head towards like 45.95 area. See, this whole zone is like accumulation zone. I want to kind of see if I can correct some of this range on the left-hand side on price. Because on the 5-minute, we got some clean traffic for price to continue moving up towards like 46.08. We can just get through that zone. It might just run if we do break that high. I put my TP on the top of the range. I'm thinking about holding a run or two. The problem I'm seeing is like it could set up an earlier entry here. This is what I'm trying to avoid. It's the same thing that happened with yesterday's London session. There was an earlier entry that made a little bit of a later entry difficult to hit TP, because the pips wise it already like hit TP on the first entry. So that's a thing that, you know, I'm seeing might be cooking up within this area over here. I don't know. So far, London has been a bit tricky this week. So let's just see. I mean, it's the end of the month as well, you know. Let's see. Anyway, I give myself like 3 trades a day. It's my second trade. I did like the idea of that fake out though here, because I was looking at that as a liquidity grab below that zone to move up. Looking for the top, since we have a range shotgun you want be a good play. So far it's mixed. The delta is not as strong to the upside. You can see like a lot of selling pressure coming in on the CVD over here. It's down negative 124, as well as there's no like strong commitment for buyers currently in the market overall. Again, this is quite interesting because I'm still monitoring this, and every time it seems to be accurate. Whenever it says something like this, then it can like really help you avoid a lot of the fake outs. I've seen that happen now twice, because I'm used to just taking my entries, correct? Like I just let them naturally play out the clusters. But yeah, here it's actually showing some serious confluence. It's actually showing me some serious confluence. We're also trading above previous day value high, right over there. I don't know if it's like some people are going to be looking for shorts on gold, but daily candlestick is moving up. We're just currently at some kind of like a daily rejection area. That is clear. So whatever direction it breaks, I guess it could even like tumble to the downside. Let's redraw this volume profile and see. Maybe it starts getting towards this lower end right over here. Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of buyer strength at the moment. You can see everything's kind of like leaning more towards the red at this point. Getting negative 200. Sellers are coming in strong. They're looking like they're about to take these lows down over here by 45.81. Let's see. Looks like price might move both ways. Liquidity built above and below. It might be a fake sweep and then move towards the opposite direction. I feel like the higher time frame hasn't yet picked a direction. That's why right now, even though we're seeing price up like 95, 97%, it feels like the daily is still a bit on edge as to maybe possibly continuing to move downwards. Starting to break the lows here already on spot gold. Sometimes when you look at spot gold, it's like looking a bit into the future. You can already kind of anticipate what could happen on micro futures or futures. Yeah, definitely break the low of that region. It was a nice break as well. A little bit of a counter trend move, but we're definitely seeing more sellers come in, negative 700k. Let's see what the average is here. Probably want to see around 2 million, but weakness in volume, kind of like a confluence at 12 million. Seller aggression could definitely be at least up into the 2 millions, would be nice. It's down negative 700k. Still not totally convinced, also with the CVD. We got some bid offers coming in here, creating some small imbalance. They're just kind of selling into a previous day value high. What is that I introduced to my charts as of yesterday? It's order flow. And so far, actually, I've been following this thing and it's really, really good. It's pretty damn accurate. Just looking for the top since we have a range. Shotgun want to be a good play. That was my morning buy on the fade. There's buy absorption. Took a sell here. Not taking this, but from backtesting is something like a 1-to-1 hit rate around 70%. Right on the edge. Yeah, right on the edge. Very nice. It's still kind of deciding, but you can see Delta and CVD is still... They're trying to push down right now. It's just not like a very, very strong confluence because price is ranging overall. It's just trying to break and retest over here. Because you see Delta and CVD could easily reverse you at these points. Should at least see a mil. A mil plus 2 mil. When did I move to gold futures? I've been looking at it for like a while now, but I moved on. Like I finally got my broker and everything yesterday. I actually applied to 2 brokers for CFDs and futures. I wanted to change broker anyway. So I got with BlueberryMarkets, and then ScopeMarkets is currently the one I'm using to trade futures. They also offer CFDs. You lost me at Delta and CVP. No worries, my man. It's all, you know, part of the elevation game. You're gonna learn it. That's kind of Flavio method. Who's Flavio? There's also an Asian range to be filled below. Yeah, Goldie's pushing down today. It's quite interesting. Let me just see what's going on here. Let's go on the 5 minute. 5 minutes accumulating. We have some clean range to the downside, I suppose. Let's go on the 30 minute. Got 30 minute clean range from here to here. It's about 363 pips. Yeah, it does look like it's weakening though. I gotta admit. Like, look at Delta and CVDs. It's at 1 million right now. Sellers are coming in heavy. They're more aggressive. Daily trend is not helping much, I see, because there seems to be a change in daily sentiment that's currently being absorbed. Maybe you could call like an absorption happening on the higher time frame. Yeah, I think that would be the perfect way to describe this, because the daily looks like it's trending bullish on the intradays, but you see this absorption coming in. Overall weakness that's trickling down to the LTF. That's why I guess it's selling off over here. Once it broke, just did a small little retest, try to get some more orders in for price to keep pushing down. This is a very strong delta. We're getting towards like average now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to come back up there. That other entry was invalidated.
A potential dead cat bounce is forming for COMEX gold futures on the daily chart, with the futures choppy movements grinding higher. StoneX's Matt Simpson says in commentary, a solid bullish pin bar has helped the commodity rebound above the 200-day exponential moving average, the senior market analyst says. Gold bulls are attempting to retest the 100-day exponential moving average, or the $4,700 per ounce handle, he says. However, this level could cap the precious metals upside as resistance or tempt bears to fade the move, Simpson says.
Gold rises as traders weigh potential US exit from Iran war. Powell remarks. Oh yeah, Powell was speaking yesterday. I didn't actually watch it. Let's see what it is. Anybody you watch this? Powell's talk yesterday? Let's see what it was about. Get a quick summary here.
Gold prices rise in early trading, with futures in New York up 0.7% to $4,589.30 a troy ounce. The precious metal appears to have found some support near $4,500 an ounce, with investors taking advantage of cheaper gold as inflation worries weighed on the metal, analysts at ANZ say. The Wall Street Journal reported that President Trump told aides he is willing to end the U.S. military campaign against Iran, even if the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Monday that energy disruptions tend to be short-lived, but warned the central bank can't take that for granted after years of elevated inflation. Traders now await U.S. labor market data later this week for more cues on the economic outlook.
Oh yeah, this week we have some red folders. We also got the NFP this week. Tomorrow we have ADP, core retail sales, unemployment claims, and NFP on Friday. That's true. I know it's towards the end of the week, guys, so don't get too discouraged about the price action. It's quite normal. You can even see towards the end of last month, February here. I also took like a couple clusters of losses. Wait, I gotta remove this so you can see it. This is towards the end of February. Look at how freaking crazy that was. Going on a 4 losing streak, 2 wins, and then 2 losses. So it's quite normal. Don't be surprised by it, but just manage your risk. I really want to take a buy, but I'm gonna start listening to this tool here a bit more. And see if we can at least get some kind of confluences here. Right now, what we're seeing is prices trying to break out. We have a couple of bearish nodes over here, an imbalance for 2.5 on the bid by 45.89. Delta is negative 1 million, still below average. So is the CVD, this accumulated volume delta here below average. And because the daily is moving up, but you can see a lot of seller aggression coming in. Volume is dying out, which kind of like aids in these moves. A lack of volume kind of aids more, I guess, to the downside. So if we're going to break above, we kind of want to see volume increase here, I would say. Hey, what's up, Schwartz? Good morning. I think we also got the London Open here at 3 a.m. For those of you wondering why the stream saw early. I really don't get why you switch to tools when you have so much success with your own method. The tools are just visual representations. Trades can be based off of these tools. We still need to have the price action. So it's nice. It's definitely nice because when you have like a stronger confluence, sometimes that gives you more... Also for educational purposes, because I'm not only trading for myself when I started this YouTube channel, it was also to help other people trade. And as much as I would teach somebody price action, sometimes you definitely need a lot more experience to get a feel for the market of certain things which are happening before breakouts, correct? It's harder to teach that because that only comes with time, right? Because you're only going to have specific scenarios. That's why we do the simulations. Because we can go through those specific scenarios and then see like how price can set up before like an actually good move, right? That's with price action. But when you use like something like order flow, it's much easier to teach people like when these scenarios are most likely going to happen. So they have the numbers, so they don't have to worry about the visual candlesticks printing in that way, because that's going to come naturally with time. But you understand like the entry models, it's enough. So you just keep putting yourself in a position to have a high probability setup. And then from day to day or from setup to setup, you're going to have different confluences, which you have to build that experience to see different ways it's going to play out. But if you got like hard numbers, at least it can get you thinking a bit more critically than just copy pasting the setup, And for me, I use it because like obviously, you know, like people gonna use these things, and there's a reason why people are gravitating a lot to order flow of late. So I kind of want to see what's up. And so far I'm seeing like if you know how to read it, keep it simple, it does have its it can be quite advantageous. And we're currently at the what's this previous day value area high. It's gonna act like some kind of a point of control. We're getting an inverted head and shoulders over here. That's a little fake up. This was the idea I was trying to get like up here. Basically. You see this? That was the idea I was trying to get as well. Delta is still quite low. So let's actually see what happens on this move. Delta is still quite low. Towards, or negative, let's say. Below average though. Could be like an earlier entry if anything. Hey Zafar, thank you for the sub, man. Yeah, if I tell you something wild that happened on that first trade, this already peaked at like 20 pips. This one kind of already hit my profit target. I drew the entry slightly a bit wrong. My mental hasn't been 100% as I'm making this transition, by the way. But those, for those of you in the mentorship, that was it right here. Problem was the entry triggered a bit too high anyway. Should have paid more attention to that. It's about like close to 20 pips, 19. See if we got any more fundamental work. I still would love to see buys. I think the range got filled, right? The VG, the value gap.
Futures bullish momentum is picking up speed based on the daily chart. RHB Retail Research's Joseph Chai says in a note. The latest session saw the precious metal breaking above resistance at $4,500 an ounce, the analyst notes. Gold bulls are setting their sights to test subsequent resistance at the $4,800 per ounce level, Chai says. However, strong selling pressure is likely to emerge near the downward trending 20-day simple moving average, the analyst adds. The 20-day simple moving average is pegged at around $4,815.63 per ounce.
By the way, I low-key kind of like this AI voice thing. It used to remind me a lot of the days I used to go to work. And I used to walk to work in the freaking cold early in the morning, and I would just used to listen to audiobooks. And it always kind of had that AI-ish sound to it, so it's a bit nostalgic. I used to bang through audiobooks. Good times, good times. I think I grab a picture here as well on my Instagram. Yeah, that's me walking to work in the freaking cold. Walking to work in the freaking cold. Just listen to audiobooks. Audiobooks. I used to work at this kind of like fair trade store whilst I was still learning how to trade. Man, and just, you know, just believe in yourself. Just keep putting in that work. And yeah, beautiful things happen. Beautiful things happen. Beautiful things happen. And do it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Alright, so let's see if we get any kind of like entry confirmations. I do want to see buys, but definitely the order flow is showing me different today. Order flow is definitely showing me a lot of selling activity. We're down delta negative 1.4. CVD is down. Volume is still down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to line up with the entry that I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to do. Monthly close always like this. Yeah, there's a higher probability it's going to be like that for sure than not. So don't over leverage yourself. I read audiobooks, but a lot of the times it's just an excuse for nap time. I prefer to actually read. Yeah, it's because don't have time throughout the day to read. So audiobooks are the next best thing. But that's nice, man. I prefer to read when I could read. The last book that I read was The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, in uni. Very nice book. Got some buy aggression coming in. We got an imbalance of 5.9 million. Still getting a lot more bearish nodes here though. A lot more bearish PA. Cluster. So even though it's pushing up, delta and CVD is still negative. Right, so this could be sellers just allowing buyers in. It could be a potential absorption, but it's too soon to say right now. But it could be a potential absorption. Because he's not lining up with the move up right now. We're still under POC as well. We just filled the value gap to the downside. Looking to kind of like fill this area up over here. Once it starts breaking above 45.94. Key will be if it bounces back down off POC or breaks. See, it's holding steady. Look at this. The delta CVD is still holding steady as price is moving up. Let's see what happens here. You know, for price to move down, we kind of had like a clean range over here on the 30. On the 30 minute, come down towards that support by 45.38. That's looking like a liquidity grab price action wise. Now it's starting to disseminate a bit that seller aggression as we just got a small pop above. But it's still within a range, correct? Like we're still overall ranging sideways. This could be like a big little fake out that happened below support area right over here. A little bit of an inverted head and shoulders, a little fake out break and retest to move up to fill the range on the 1 minute towards that resistance. Zoom in so you can see it better. But I think as we approach this high over here by 45.95, I'll probably like still wait for a little bit of cleaner PA so we can get like a break above this area and then try and fill this range. Now, hopefully by then Delta and everything flip over as well. We are seeing some, you see, these are how the fake outs are occurring here. You can see the imbalances, 1.1, 5.9 million towards the bottom over here. You really see them coming in. Still holding the previous day value area high. We need to overall kind of like get through this zone to see gold move. How do I read the order flow delta on the right of the screen? Just tune into the stream, hang around for a bit. Part of learning is also just 90% of it is just showing up, you know, and then you kind of start assimilating that information. So yeah, just tune into stream. It's a very nice confluence. I can't stop saying that, eh? Man, the biggest order flow hater was me. Now it's so funny. It's so funny. I think I was being arrogant, to be honest, and I'm not afraid to admit that. You know, the thing is, I perform so well with the way I trade that sometimes it's hard for me to, you know, as the old saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So the longer you're into something, it's harder for you to change the perspective, right? And the older you get as well, generally speaking. So I've been trading already for like about 6 years now, and it's obviously harder for me to look at these other things. And I've had students the same exact way. They've been trading for like 9 years. It's harder for me to teach them because it's actually easier to teach a student who's not been trading for long, because they're more willing and able as opposed to somebody who's a bit hard-headed, you know? So even me at this stage, I can recognize that and still adapt. And I think that's what makes a good trader, a good businessman, a good entrepreneur generally, is being able to not be arrogant about certain things. Some people are still quite arrogant, and you know, it takes some people a longer time to realize that. But I've been only bombarded by order flow for the past maybe, how long, chat? Maybe quarter? Yeah, this quarter was interesting. I've been bombarded by order flow a lot this quarter. I don't know why, maybe it's social media. But I was still able to make that change within a quarter. So it's not like it took me years to adapt into order flow, right? I just only started knowing about it recently. But listen, I still trade the way I trade. That does not change whatsoever, you know? Life's all about elevation. So if this can elevate me in a certain way, sometimes it's those little things that can make a nice difference. Like if you go to a Michelin star restaurant, it's the little things which can actually create a huge difference, right? When they're gonna cook up some. So this is like that little ingredient that can elevate the dish a bit more. But it mustn't change the dish, correct? There's already a foundation. So I kind of would like to see price move up. I think that breakout is kind of like too much of a bigger range for me to trade on its own. So I'll wait for like something smaller to set up right here. Maybe try to look for a bomber cloud trade. If the order flow lines up nicely over there, give me a lot of confidence for it too. How do I like it so far, futures? It's alright. I kind of got limitations on my end to trade certain futures platforms like Tradeovate. But I think it should still be fine. It should still be fine. I mean, there's still slippages on futures. People think slippage does not exist on futures, but there still is slippage. Yeah, this will be the normal start time now because the London Open is at 3 a.m. Eastern. See, we're just about 42 minutes into London Open right now. So this is a time shift. So this is about 40, 45, 43 minutes into London Open. The New York Open is still at 8 a.m. Eastern though. Delta is still quite strong for the sellers. Aggressive selling. Look at this. These sellers could get trapped right here. You see this aggressive selling? Look at all the red nodes as the candlestick is bullish. These sellers could get trapped. You can already see buyers coming in at the fake out here with the imbalances. So if price starts to push up above these levels, it would be nice to see a few... we got a point of control here. It would be nice to see a few bid imbalances though. Then we can be very sure about high orders being trapped down here. As of right now, sellers are still quite aggressive. There are no high orders trapped down here. They're being a bit cautious. Yes, it was really fun. If you guys tuned into the New York session stream that we had, we actually spotted a trader, a potential big trader in the market. For those of you who tuned into the New York session stream, there was a guy who was creating. It could have been potentially one player, right? We can never know for certain with these things. But it seemed like we were calling it out. This guy was getting into a buy, creating these imbalances, and then getting out because the PA was changing. It was moving down, right? So he had like an imbalance. Let's say here at 45.85, price came down, and we're like, bro, this guy's about to get trapped because price is moving down on gold right now, 100%, right? Oh, let's say there's a high probability price on gold is moving down. So it's like if price was starting to come back up, we're like, he's going to get out. He's going to get out. Watch this imbalance. It's most likely going to disappear, right? So when price moved up, because he created another imbalance down over here, so it can push up, so he can get out of his first position, which I think he over leveraged on. And we're calling this out. It pushed up, and then he got out the imbalance. Imbalance disappeared. And then it started to go down against him, and we're like, watch this. He's going to get out that second position over here because he's aggressively buying. And as price started to come down, he actually got out the position, and you could see it happen. And it was like it's like almost one psychology of a trader. And he kind of tried to buy again at the bottom, but this time his buy played out a bit better because he waited for the range to get filled. So that was quite interesting. Tune into the New York session stream, guys. That's going to be at NY Open. This thing's gearing up to break above 45.95. Then we got clean range. You plan trading NY sessions going forward or more for analysis? More for analysis, but obviously if we get like really good moves, slowly executing on them. Because usually by that time I might be on my fourth trade. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, by that time I might be on my fourth trade. So we're gonna watch, get something interesting, and then potentially execute. Sellers are trying to get in aggressive over here. You see, they're realizing bulls are starting to take over a bit as price is creeping up. Right? You see, seller aggression is still high at 1.3 million. They just got like an imbalance on the bid. So they are understanding the bulls here trying to break above. Even if we can break the high, the VG, and then get a delta flip, that would be nice with a PA confluence for entry. Still gearing up. Volume is still low. Volume is still low. I see will be interesting. I'm trying to learn NY a little bit more too. NY is pretty good. With the NY session, the thing you gotta look out for is just a fake out. Sometimes there's an initial fake out, like with all session opens. London could have the fake out. New York session could have the fake out. That's literally the only thing you have to watch out for. Because sometimes when you get into like a New York session move in the open, it might not be the actual move. The actual move may come maybe 30 minutes or an hour later. So you gotta see something like this. Maybe still make money on the move. And then price starts to continue up for the rest of the day. That's the way the New York session mentality is. It's usually like pre-sessions, pre-London, Asia session will do this. London session will be at the peak of that. And then kind of like do this, maybe give a few moves. But it'll be at the peak of that. Pre-NY into New York Open, and then New York Open. Just a simplified way of thinking about it would move like this. See, as so far right now with the London, we had an accumulation and then price broke towards the lows. We did not get the follow through above these highs that we wanted, because clearly there's a lot of seller aggression. You see how they're holding very strong here. It's 1.5 million. There's just no buyers at this moment. Also, like volume being down like this. We need that to at least get to like 70 million to look like a bit more appetizing. But yeah, right now, quite weak. Quite weak. You can see it in the PA as well. The volume gap that we have above here isn't that big as well. I see it's kind of changing, but we have this sort of potential area over here relative to the value area over here. It's gonna be like a little bit lower volume within these nodes up until this next point by 46.05. But at MT5 you trade spot gold. Now I'm trading futures. MetaTrader, MetaQuotes is just not allowed for people living in the States, but you can still trade futures on it. Buyer imbalance coming in. Sellers getting more aggressive. I wish the nodes were a little bit more predictive so we can see where the traps are going to be. But right now it's not, because this node is green. If it was red and we're seeing a lot of seller activity and price out pushing up, that could be a potential trap. But we do have some sellers down over here though. We do have these orders kind of like clustered up together. Right, this is a delta cluster, so you're seeing clusters. So you got some of these red bars, but in terms of the value area, we only got like a neutral 50-50 buying and selling. Although sellers are really trying to hold this level to 1.4 million. As well as that, what do you call it? The previous day value area high. Goldie could be cooking up here as price comes down to create a support. Right over here. Boom, boom. Create that support. Start break above. But still quite risky. You see like the nodes turning red here. 10 million bids coming in. Seller aggression really increasing. I think you're going to get a better picture of the buyers coming in, like maybe around closer to these ends. Because it would still take some time for Delta to flip back into the positive and to see some green nodes. This is probably going to be around 40. This high here by 45.95. This would be like an earlier entry. Sometimes the earlier entry is going to need like a lot of conviction. There we go, guys. Let's smash April. New month starting tomorrow. 1st of April. Let's see how the monthly is behaving though. Monthly candlestick came down. Okay, big fat retracement on gold. Waiting on macro fundamentals to see what's next for this instrument. Gotta see what's gonna happen there in Iran. You see what's currently going on is brokering a potential peace. So Goldie has been kind of trying to push up on the daily. But I don't know why this daily move up is starting to look like absorption. It's starting to look like some kind of resistance area. We're struggling a bit to move up. And it's also quite an important week. Got the NFP as well. Powell was speaking yesterday too. So there's a lot of factors at play to why the market would be kind of consolidation. A lot of consolidation. It's currently still kind of holding that point of control area by 45.89. We really want to see price out move. It's already moved through the zone here. See it fill that volume node right to the T. Like literally right to the T. Because it came down towards support area. But let's actually redraw this. Get it a bit more accurate. Price is developing here. There's a breakout about to occur here by resistance by 45.93. Right over there. The POC. Gold spot gold is moving up. It's a bit in the future sometimes. Okay. Oh, spot gold is moving up. This thing's about to move up as well. This should be skyrocketing a bit more. It's breaking above the high. Right over here. The initial entry I was thinking about when we started stream. See, it came out from this area over here. But you see, it's a bit of an earlier entry because we're still below average on the volume. And the delta is still negative. Still seeing a lot more seller aggression. But it's trying to trap a potential seller here. Because we got like an imbalance on the bid. And it's trying to break above the accumulation. Aggressive sellers down over here too, at the bottom of the hourly wick. These red cluster nodes. As it's trying to break up, you're gonna see this could be a potential trap here, but not as an obvious one. All right, let's move this a bit more. You look at the delta is decreasing a lot. You see seller aggression is really reducing right now. Seller aggression is really reducing because we're breaking above the range area over here. So that would be a good signal for buys to continue to move up bullish. Especially through this value gap over here. But you see the entry came in a bit sooner. It was like from this point. It's about like 32 pips. But as I mentioned, you're probably gonna see the order flow change as we come towards like these highs rather. You see now the sellers are getting spooked a bit. It's nice to see it. It's reducing delta. So I think hourly can create a bottom wick. Delta should flip to positive. We should be seeing more buyer aggression. Probably like hourly bottom wick. So you got a 5-minute shotgun play. Yeah, I got a 5-minute shotgun play. I think if this 5 minute was to reflip and break its highs, you could see a pop up. Futures is new for me. It's a I think the best way to think about it's like it's just the same as I would say just the same as CFDs, right? It's just the same concept. Actually, on my broker, I'm still using lots because I'm trading on MetaTrader. So it's just like trading spot gold. You can see this is what I'm looking at here on the left hand side. I'm looking at spot gold. So look at the price action. Same thing, right? Sometimes spot gold kind of gives you a small edge because it will show the moves. Sometimes either gold futures or spot gold, either one of those two, can actually show the moves coming in a bit sooner. We saw that yesterday with futures, and today we've seen it with spot gold. Yeah, we're about to flip on Delta. It was just an hourly bottom. We're coming into this accumulation to gather in some more orders. We got buyer aggression. Look, 2 million on the bid. We got it in buyer imbalance. Buyer imbalance. Looking good on the buys. 130, 120. Aggression is increasing here. Buyer aggression is increasing. Looks like they're looking to fill this range here on the left-hand side. It's re-breaking the highs here as a shotgun to keep moving up. Buy aggression increasing 400k. Got a nice value gap over here. Price can move through. Or like low friction area. It's also like clean candles, right? You got like some clean candles on the left. Nice little point of control. So you're still respecting previous day value area high. So quite an important zone that was. New hour and closing the 5 minute. You got it? Awesome. Look at that. Delta increasing quite nicely over there. You see it started flipping within this range. Line up perfectly with PA. So it's definitely an earlier entry because still on the break. When we were breaking here, this was still slightly negative. Nice to see the volume come in at least. There's a lot of like fake outs are happening here. A lot of indecision within this area. That's where the breakout actually initiated from. Right over here. Still gonna move up towards 4607. This is what we're lacking a bit of. Like obviously at the start of towards the end of this month, there's a little bit more follow throughs like this. This is the first follow through that we've gotten. And it's come in about an hour into London session. These are like fake moves down over here. You can still scalp these moves, but definitely a lot more short-lived moves. Still pretty decent scalps over here, like young 20 pips, small retracement upwards, a little push to the downside. But naturally, this is what I thought price was to do at the London Open, was to just keep moving forward because we're already up like 1.37%. Sellers were trying to fight it. Why didn't I take it? Because I've realized something very important right now. This thing is awesome, right? This thing is awesome, but I feel the London session for order flow is still a bit too soon when we're trying to read the volume, right? In terms of reading delta, it's perfect. But in terms of reading volume, I think the day needs to open up a bit more. Because even though we're up right now 1.25%, the information here is still kind of building up. You know, this seems to be the case most of the time. I'm sure there are some days which are going to be like a little bit more obvious on the volume. But this definitely I've seen a lot more during the New York session. So I'll be executing on this order flow strategy here at the New York session. That's what I'm gonna be looking at. Because by then the readings should be a lot more clear as we have a little bit of a bigger sample size as the day opens up. So that's why I didn't take this one, because I was still kind of monitoring this right over here. So I think that should be the case. So when it comes to execution based off of this, I'll use this as confluence 100%. But put a heavier weight on it when we have a bigger sample size during the NY session. I think generally speaking, that should make sense. But we still got to use the deltas as confluence though. But the volume can still be a bit of an iffy thing. But we're going to use the delta with a loose perspective. Because typically, even if when we get like our trades during the pre-London is still very early in the day. So you can imagine that information might not yet be sufficient. So if it lines up, beautiful. But if it doesn't, what it essentially is just early confirmations, which still play out. But tune into New York. We're going to be looking more at execution based off of these metrics. But you see, it happened exactly like I said, chat, right? I told you I was waiting for price to come up close towards this area and then set me up so I can take the break. So no worries. I'm a very patient person when it comes to certain things like to do with the market, because the next move is around the corner. I know some people are going to feel bad. Maybe you didn't execute on any of these plays, but the next move is right around the corner, right? Market is abundant of opportunities. And the first time I heard that, it always stuck with me. Market is abundant of opportunities. Never feel like you're missing out. Nice little range fill though. These are like fill of the range over here. See, that's probably like 65% of the range. Yeah, right to the T. Right to a 65% mark. What does it mean when the black boxes cover the numbers on the right? Thank you for that question, man. Like, I've been waiting for really good questions. But that just means imbalance. Right over here. This means imbalance. So you see, this is bid and ask. I mean, this is bid and this is ask. On the right is buy. On the left is sell. Correct? So if you see a black box on the left, it means imbalance. Seller aggression, like pretty much like a big order. They're trying to push heavy. But you see, it's kind of neutral here. You got a bid, an ask, which is a buy at 3.8, and you got a bid, which is a sell at 3.3 over here. Those imbalance boxes are actually quite important. I think people are going to use like order flow. We're going to be most of the time we're using the bid and ask as well as imbalances. Because you got a few options here, right? You can look at let's see, volume profile. I guess this shows you how much volume was traded in the area, which is basically a point of control, as you can see over there. We got delta profile. We got delta cluster, the one that I like to use. And then you got the bid and ask profile, which again, self-explanatory here. You can see buyers and sellers. But yeah, for the most part, delta cluster is really nice. What else can you change? Oh yeah, here. These are the numbers you can change. So you can use bid and ask without the imbalance. You can just focus on the delta, which is buyers minus sellers. Or you could just focus on the volume aspect of it. And yeah, I think this is giving us like really good information. Imbalance with bid and ask. Man, beautiful reaction though. Really nice. Still got some nice buyer aggression here at 396k. It was beautiful to see that lineup though, right? The way like we're starting break, key confirmations and delta was flipping to bullish. You could see how the sellers were getting scared out for this move, and this retracement was just an hourly bottom wick. Let's see. And the dull ones to the left on the time frame, are they out of the market now? Ooh, oh, what do you mean? There's opacity here. These dull clusters. Those I just made them specific so we can just focus on the value areas where 70% of the volume was traded. So then I just kind of like made this opacity lower. So they're not out of the market. It's just not enough. There was not a significant amount of trading activity there. So we're going to focus more on those high value areas. Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to see it. You got to notice some people, they don't trade with seeing the candlesticks so well. I personally like to see the candles. So I always try to put the price action together with the order flow. So you can see also this is a setting. Let me see if I can show you guys how it actually looks when you first put on a chart. So you can just see how many settings you gotta change. Let's see if we can find gold. Or should we just try a random chart? Let's try a random chart. Pipped and dipped. Pip and dippers. Yeah, so this is what you get when you first come in. This is typically how it would look. So this is just some kind of random chart here, some kind of like a crypto. It says on the 15-minute. Let's try to see it on the hourly. I've seen it without the candles, and I don't like it. Your setup's very nice because seeing the candles, yeah, it really helps. Because we gotta stick with what we know, right? And we know candles. We know candles. So this is how kind of that it looks like when you first put it on. See, like huge difference to this. And some people, they kind of like trading a bit more complicated. They're gonna have not the candles and then something like this. But we always gotta look at the candles. Hasn't fully cooked up yet, but it's trying to cook up here. Buyer aggression is not as strong at the moment. Like 40, 43, 400, 442k. Definitely be much better up in the millions. In terms of order flow, what I've noticed so far, at least during the earlier sessions here, is most of these moves are like a little bit impulsive. So you may be getting below average readings before your entry confirmations. Because they're a little bit more impulsive since the day is still opening up. I stopped trading gold. This is gold. What do you mean spot gold? Yeah, gold is gold. Looking at price action. You know what the main difference is price points. So what you're seeing here on the right hand side is spot gold, and what you're seeing on the left hand side is futures, right? But you see the candles are basically identical. See? The difference here is with the price points. So you can see this is 45.70 and here this is 4600. But this is micro gold futures, and if you go on GC over here, you'll see the price points are the same. Even TradingView magnets them. So you see this is 4601. That's also 4601. Correct? But I don't like GC because you see there's a lot more gaps. Micro gold futures is easier to read on TradingView. Less gaps. But that's the only difference. See, spot gold, same PA. So I'm using both these charts to execute. Like I'm looking at spot gold because sometimes it's ahead. And also spot gold is even more cleaner in terms of price action. No gaps. This would be nice. It comes down, then sets up, tries to pull up, delta is increasing as well. So you see as price is going down, delta is increasing. So we're just seeing more buyers getting in. Because remember, like the way some traders trade in the market, or how institutions trade, when price is coming down, they're like buying like this, right? And then they're waiting for it to start flipping back up. And then as it flips back up, maybe they start to close some of these buy positions like this, and maybe start keying sells. And it says price is moving up, and then it moves down, and then it puts them in profit. Then they close these positions, and then start looking at buys again. So that's why sometimes you're going to see the delta increase in volume while its price is still moving down. So it's not to say that direction is shifting. It's just like pullbacks or absorption to keep buying up. Because remember, for price to move up, we need to have sellers in the market as well. So yeah, we do have a bit of range over here. It's about 43 pips still to the upside. Oh, where is the SMAs? Thanks for reminding me. Holy. I think I deleted them by accident. This is gearing up. Delta about to come into the million. Just a small accumulation of orders here, like a pit stop. Since we broke out of this massive range below, down here, you can see the range better on like let's see, the 1 minute. That was a range. Here, obviously that's a fake out, pull back, a little inverted head and shoulder break above the high, little distribution. These distributions are, I always think about like 10%, right? 10% of the time. You can see how small they are, but this is like a very nice distribution. This is more of like an what do you call it? Like a more directional like distribution, because we're still expecting price to move up today since we're already bullish overall. Now back to 90% right over here. Small little pit stop as we continue to move up. We're not seeing like any massive orders coming in. It's just relatively what do you call it? The volume is not very aggressive overall. Again, I would like to always show you, like with BTC, they usually have a lot more aggressive orders coming in with Bitcoin. You can see them here. See, at the moment, there's no really big orders coming. Here I got 17 million, 23 million. It's like, you know what this is? If you all have watched that new movie with Ryan Gosling. What is it called again? What's that movie called again, chat? Man, I watched it literally last week in the cinema. It's called a Hail Mary. Yeah, so remember that scene in the movie when the alien throws the message and then Ryan Gosling trying to catch it? Yeah, Project Hail Mary. This is it. You got some big orders coming in, moving nice and slow throughout the void. Still have to see it good? Yeah, it's really good. It's a long movie though. But it was good. Like the theater was pretty packed, and this was in the middle of the week. This was the middle of the week. We really like it. It's hard not to like Ryan Gosling, let me just say that. So he can do the quirkiest of things and people love it. This thing is about to re-break the highs. Would like to see it like re-break with a lot of volume. It's about to continue the distribution once it breaks above 46.04. It's accumulated some good orders there. We're about to get to the million. Yep, buyer aggression just tapped into the million. Right there. Kind of just saw it slip into the million. So month is going pretty good over here. Let's see if I can squeeze in a couple more trades towards the end of the month. Took a lot of trades this month. Been quite active. This is about like 38 trades, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, if I get a 40, that'll be good. Previous month, 37 trades. January, 45 trades. Because I'm trying to have quantity as well in these market conditions. That's going to be important for me because there's a lot of volume and opportunity. So I'm trying to increase the quantity, but not in a way that is detrimental. This next 1 minute candle should actually do the break. Over here, it looks like we just came right to that point. Still no break. Let's see, we got low volume node. We don't have any more low volume nodes at the moment. We have this kind of area it might struggle with. There's still range up here. Okay, so had to redraw it. Yeah, so we need a break above. I think once it gives that entry confirmation, should have a little bit of a boost up of around, we're looking at what, 26 pips. But yeah, price would have to come down, restructure a bit better now because it's kind of moving upwards. It's no longer like a really readable accumulation, so we'll need to come down a bit more. Why are you overcomplicating your trading, adding all those new things, bro? For you, it feels like overcomplicated because you don't have capacity. I have capacity, so it's not overcomplicated. It's like additional confluence. So even with using this stuff, there's still capacity, yeah? I think when you don't know what you're doing and then you add something new, your cup's gonna overflow. It looks complicated, but it's actually rather simple. To be honest with you, there's let me tell you how many things I'm looking at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these are, you know, previous day value area high, previous day point of control. That really takes no capacity at all because it's drawn for you. 5, just like 5 things that we're looking at here. 5 things. And context of market as well, to see how the nodes are progressing. 6. Bro, the human brain is capable of so much. Look at what we've already done. You just build capacity slowly daily, you know, 1% a day. No problem as long as it doesn't contradict. Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't create analysis paralysis. That's one thing for sure. So for me, I'm always gonna put price action first, and then this will be layered on top of that. You know, because this is a thing, because I've seen a lot of people, they're gonna struggle with these specific problems. This is a thing to help solve those problems, right? Because some people are gonna use the excuse of they're not disciplined for years as an scapegoat. I'm not profitable because I keep breaking my rules. So what are you doing about that currently? That's something you gotta ask yourself. What is your solution for if you keep getting caught into fake outs or you keep breaking rules? What has been your solution so far? See, this is where this comes in. Because the last thing you want to do is play the victim. Every week, new week that starts again. Oh, I broke my rule. Oh, this, oh, that. So this is just a means of accountability as well. Just like when you have a trading plan, that's one means of accountability, because you can check if you followed your rules or not. And then if you need that extra confidence, because sometimes a trading plan wouldn't teach you about the fake out part, how to avoid fake outs, how to know if markets are trending, what direction's trending, who's more aggressive, buyers or sellers. So you're good at following the PA, but maybe you're lacking on that other layer. That's where this comes in. So that will be the solution. Remember, like, you don't want to become the guy who always has problems, right? You want to be the guy who always has solutions. Solution is simple. Deposit more. Yeah, people do that. I used to do that. You trick your subconscious to thinking it's a new account. But when you start trading like for a living, you can't deposit, because where are you going to get the funds to deposit from? You got no salary. Then what? Volume delta is increasing. You see, there's no difference, just confluence. Because we should be getting a breakout here, although it's not the most structurally sound breakout. But look, volume delta is increasing 1 million. That's pretty good. You see that? When you build a capacity and you're able to use that in confluence, I think it gives you a bit more confidence, right? Price action wise, for me, it could definitely be a cleaner, because even if you look at spot gold here, and if you know what TFX entry confirmations are about, it's not as clean. It's definitely something there, but it's not as clean. But the good thing is we're seeing for potential buyers here, at least they have a bit of confluence. Oh, and we could be having a seller trapped here as well. We got 9 million imbalance. So if we keep pushing up, we could trap that seller. So it's nice to see it, right? But remember, price action comes first. So you got a clean PA and you see something like this, awesome. They're really good. Got a potential seller trap over here, a little sell imbalance. So I think they're getting a bit aggressive. It's become a point of control. It's trying to move again. Correct? Because we already had distribution once. A little bit of a pause. Now it's trying to move from this area. We got a little less friction here as we're moving through the value gap as well. As I said, like there was at least from here to here about 26 pips. Missed a clean chart but gotta adapt. Think of it this way, yeah? When you wear those yellow shades that make you feel like kind of happy because of the color of the shade. So when you're using the see-through shades, just the normal spectacles, it's like price action. So you see it clearly, right? And then when you put that yellow tint, it kind of makes you give like a good mood. So think about the order flow in terms of that, right? So it shouldn't be distorting your vision. You know, some of those tints are gonna kind of distort your vision, like the colors, the opacity, etc. So, you know, think of it like a yellow tint with a good opacity. That's it. That's all that it is. So it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good about your setup. But remember, price action first, PA first. Let's go into Discord, see what's happening. No chart, no charts, no charts. No charts. Trade Bro EA. Oh, nice. Got buy over here. A little bit of a fakey below support. Nice clean range. 1 minute. Awesome. It's, you know, this was an inverted on the second shot right over here. Secure about 29 pips. Very good. Kind of struggling here, low. Small pullbacks. Daily still positive though, 1.30%. I think it's because majority of the range has already been filled, correct? Like if you see where prices come from, these lows. And a really nice confirmation was right over here. Because this one is still kind of like moving up. It's kind of like a bullish trend. A minor bullish trend. It's kind of bouncing like this to the upside. Nasty PA. Yeah, it's a bit nasty. We've been noticing a bit of these pullbacks here towards the end or towards like beginning of this week. A little bit of these kind of like pullbacks as it's breaking the highs. But yeah, this area here is a bit more nasty for sure. That's giving more London session yesterday. Also today, London Open was kind of more or less the same. We had like a little bit of fake out situation that happened over here. Price pulled down, create another fake out below that support. Setting up. Volume is a bit low right now. As long as we're below let's say 70 million, volume is relatively low, but delta is good. You can see CVD is also starting to pull up again, so we're starting to have, you see the data is opening up more as we're heading towards New York session. This is why I meant, you see with the CVD, that's accumulated volume delta of the whole session, right? So we're getting a lot more of it, and it's going to give us a clearer picture as the day unfolds. I think this is why most of the people gonna trade smart money concepts, in a sense, like order flow and stuff. They're gonna use it more during, these are more like New York traders, from at least what I've experienced. Even the Fabio guy, he trades mainly that New York Open, the cash session that he calls it. I'm more of a London guy, more like pre-London, London, early bird catches the worm guy, you know. So I don't think for me this necessarily gives much of an edge for the earlier sessions, but for New York, it's gonna be really good. So we'll just use that, as I said, primarily as confluence for London and pre-London, but more towards New York. So we're gonna be on NY session at NY Open. We're gonna be streaming London and New York moving forward. I'm trying to see. I don't know if I'm gonna get 100% month in April, but let's see. It depends on Trump. Yeah, you see things right now are a little bit more calm. So if they remain calm like this, most likely not. But if Trump ends up escalating the war, or if it like brings something out, then we're gonna see more volume. We're gonna make more percentage gains. It's just that simple. When the market moves, we can make money. When it doesn't move, we're gonna expect more of like, you know, choppiness, pullbacks potentially on the setups. I mean, those are crazy time. This was sometime, was it February? Man, I remember like February, I couldn't win a freaking pre-London trade. Like I always kept getting faked out. Here towards middle February. Middle February, for some reason, volume just died out. So that's typically what happens. These clusters you see. You see, for example, my previous two trades were an L because the market is pulling back a lot when it gives me the breakouts. And I think if you stick with the system long enough, you're going to be able to differentiate between a bad trade and a market condition. And I think you just have to be willing to see that perspective. It's just the same way as if you see this order flow, if you don't want to see the potential in it, you won't. Right? So I was typically like this as well for a while. But when you let go of that ego is what's holding a lot of people back, especially in something like trading. It's not boxing. You're not Mike Tyson. The ego is not going to help you here. It's actually going to destroy you. So you got to leave the ego outside the door. So if you think you know it all, you think you know what I'm doing over here, you know, you have to be a bit careful that you're not being arrogant, right? Just be a little bit careful, because as you can see, I'm leading by example by showing you I'm learning to adapt to new concepts. I'm seeing like a lot of traders say, wow, this is amazing. I've been seeing this for 3 months and I'm still willing to adapt. I'm still willing to invest myself in my education for it as well. So I think that's something important that you can learn, because arrogance will keep you at your same level for a very long time. Right? So see the potential. But right now it is building up a little bit nicer here as well. I can see with spot gold, structure is looking a little bit more decent. But I think we're gonna head out here, guys. I will see you for the New York session, and we'll take it from there. We'll see if we can get at least 2 more trades before the month ends. And remember, we're streaming NY session now as well. That's gonna be at 8 a.m. Eastern. That's the New York session open. So adios, everybody. Take care. Take care.
Now we bout to dip.